Welcome to Module 3. I will be trying to change out the homepage on a weekly basis so that you can be refocused into what the goals and needs are for this particular week. So Module 3 is on educational technology, issues, and trends, and we're going to be looking at best practices. We're going to have you research some of those and choose one, or actually choose 3 of them to respond to in a discussion topic post. One of the things that I just want to highlight again for you, and I do it often because students sometimes don't understand that the focus here is not just to do assignments, but it's to learn the content. And the content is in addition to the books in the modules. So when you click up here on modules, you will be getting to, in this case, Module 3, where we'll be looking at a number of steps here. And if you start with Module 3 Overview, and then at the end of that module, just click Next at the bottom right, you'll get to the next page, which is Educational Technology Best Practices, and so on. So please do go through all of the module pages before you move ahead to try and do the assignments, because there is important information in all of those. In the homepage of this week's module as well, you'll see that it just kind of highlights the other issues that we're going to be looking at, and that is a social bookmarking tool called Delicious, where you have a chance to save the web pages that you come across in this course into not a web browser favorite, but instead a web-based bookmarking tool, which allows you to access it from both home and school, really from any computer, because it's based on the website. So for every one of them, you'll be looking at the visual that I create, which, by the way, I create in a program called Canva, and that's one of the tools that you'll be able to use in your digital blog posts upcoming. You'll watch the video, which I'm recording right now and you're watching, and then go through all the module pages for the content, instruction, and assignments. So one of the things that I want to mention as you look at doing your discussion topic, and let's go ahead and just look at that real fast here. You'll get the discussion topic in your assignment at the end, and you'll see that always, and some of you didn't get that this first discussion topic, the initial post, the one that you respond to, is due on the Saturday at midnight. Whereas the comments that you make, the responses that you make to other students, is on Sunday at midnight. So please keep those deadlines in mind, because the rubric automatically has a timeliness quality to it. And so if you don't do that, you'll have points automatically taken off. Always read through the complete assignment here, and then you'll see some specifics about a discussion post. Now, one thing I want to highlight is that the first discussion post was introductory and it was designed to be informal. But now we're moving into discussion posts that are formal, and it requires that you use academic writing, which means that you need to write with references. You're not going to be writing your opinion as much on this, but you're going to be stating or restating, summarizing what you've learned from your research and your readings, and then you need to back that up with some documentation. So you're going to be using reliable sources in doing so, and perhaps using in-text citations. So if you quote something directly from a resource that you use, you need to follow the in-text citations as well as the references that you use, all in APA style. And so we'll talk about that in a minute here, but remember that the focus here is on academic writing, not on personal reflective writing with opinions. We use that for the blogs, and that I think is also very important, very critical, but you're going to really focus on more of the academic writing here. So let's move to the resources. Some of you have already commented that you're not familiar with APA citation style, and of course you should and could Google that and get a lot of detail. One of the things that I like to just really kind of highlight with citations is that the purpose really is to give attribution, give credit to the author, the creator, but also to allow the reader to go back to that particular site or book or whatever, and be able to see the original work. So it's really important when you're using web-based information that there's always a website, a URL that takes us back, so I can look at it, or anybody else that's reading it can go back and look at that original work and be able to get a more complete understanding of it if they so desire. One of the nice things is there are a couple of web-based citation generators that are available. One is called BibMe, and it's bibme.org. The only thing that you need to remember is that you're going to click on APA for that citation style, which is used primarily in psychology, social sciences, including education, rather than MLA, which is used a lot in English. And of course, if you've taken composition courses, I'm sure you have used the MLA citation style. So in APA, in BibMe, you would have an option to look up videos or books or websites or whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and just do a quick example, since some of you had some questions. And let's say I found this article on integrating technology that I decide I want to use as a reference. I've been researching it and deciding that it's a good resource for me. So I highlight the URL. I come back over to BibMe. I want to make sure I'm at website. Then I simply paste that into search website. And what it does is it brings up, in this case, it says RSS. It has the exact same website, which is fine. We'll go ahead and select. And they found some information that does match. They don't have a whole lot of information, but that's okay, because we're going to go ahead to the final step. And we'll see the article's name is in here, which is correct. However, they don't give credit to the author. They didn't pick that up. So you do need to come back and say it's Rochelle Poth. And so we're going to go ahead and put in her name. And the website title, they have RSS. But if we go back to the site, there's nothing that says RSS here. In fact, Edutopia is the name of the site. So it's not always correct, but Edutopia. So in other words, you do have to do some looking. The URL is correct because we put that in there, but the dates are not in there in terms of the date accessed, doing that right now. So that's correct, but when was it published? So I go back and I look and I say, oh, it was posted on 7/20/2016. So come back over here and I put the 20th day of the 7th month, which is July, and the year was 2016. And then I'm just going to go ahead and create the citation. Now, I didn't put in the publisher sponsor. That could be added if you had that. But you'll see here now I've got the author's name, the date, the title of that, and then it has retrieved the date of retrieval as well as the website. So it gives me proper attribution, and it allows me enough information that I can, as a reader, go back there and get that. So you can copy and paste by highlighting, which I just did, or you can go down to some of the other tools that they have here. So that's BibMe. The other one is called Citation Machine, works very much in the same way. Just make sure that you are doing that properly. When you are citing, be sure that you are citing YouTube videos as web pages, because they're actually out on web pages. And if you are using photographs, I did put something in let's go back to my modules, and it was actually in module 2. I have a page called Creating Google and Blogger Accounts, and there is how to add a Creative Commons licensed image in Blogger. I'm going to talk more about images next week, but it's critical that you do not just pick an image out of Google search, because they may not be Creative Commons licensed or public domain. They may be copyrighted, and that's just a big no-no for this class, and really for your future as well. So last but not least, if you are having trouble with Blogger, and I've given you some advice to make some changes when you go into your blog, this is the blog you're going to be working off of, although yours is titled something different. If you need to make a change to the title because you called it Chapter 1, for example, which some people do accidentally, go to Settings. And when you get down to Settings, there's a place for Basic Settings, which is what it defaults to. And right here is where you can edit the title of the blog. The blog is like the book that you're writing. The blog posts are like the chapters. So if I go back over to Posts, I have the post that I've written. If I don't have a title for that post, I can edit it. And some of you missed this too. And it is a little hard to see that you started your writing right here for your post, but right up at the top is where you're going to put the title for your post. And I'd really like for you to stick with putting something like Digital Blog Post number A, chapter, whatever it is. And please note that we will not always follow the typical sequence of 1 through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. We skip around chapters. So that's another reason to make sure that you've got your titles to kind of match up what we're doing. And one more thing I want to talk about, and that is in regards to the blog post assignment that's coming up. And this week you're going to be doing blog post B. There's one additional thing that you need to be doing with this blog post. Now I'm going to move you into doing something more, and this is to use a digital tool such as a presentation tool like Prezi or eMaze or PhotoPeach or HaikuDeck, an assessment like Kahoot or FlipQuiz, a comic strip like Toondoo, Powtoon, etc. So there's a lot of them listed here. And if you go down to, keep reading on the assignment, if you go down to a sample digital blog post. So coming into this sample blog post, which is for Chapter 2, you'll see that in addition to the reading, I used a digital tool to enhance my post. And this was a comic strip that I did in a program called Toondoo. And at the bottom with the resources, I also provided attribution to myself, date created, title of it, and where it was created. Now, many times, instead of doing a screenshot, which I had to do here, you can actually get what they call an embed code. And I have another video on how to use the various sites to get the embed code. And it actually looks a lot better than doing a screenshot. But that's what a digital tool would be, and that's how you will be enhancing your blog post from here on in. So good luck with Chapter 2's blog post. Let me know if you have any questions.